While some people are spending their days fixing the huge problems in the world, we can't forget to thank those who dedicate their lives to fixing the smaller problems. Things like staying dry without holding an umbrella, keeping safe in a cycle lane, and getting rid of horrible cooking smells are all problems too. But you might not realize there's already a solution for them all. Today we're showing you 10 products that will change your life. We've got one bonus product that will change your life, and it's entirely free. Just before we start, make sure to click the subscribe button and you'll get to watch all of our great videos here at The Hub. Vibrating jeans. Don't you just hate it when you're slogging to find a location and you just keep walking, only to realize you're going the wrong way? You either do the awkward turnaround and start heading right back where you came from, or you'll keep walking in the wrong direction to save your embarrassment. Sure, you could easily take out your phone and use its GPS to get you to the right place, but sometimes you're not in a position to feel safe enough to do that. So what's the solution to finding your way around without having to use a map or a phone? The solution is the vibrating jeans. By connecting via Bluetooth to your phone, you can leave your mobile in your pocket and your jeans will tell you which way to go. They come fully equipped with motor sensors on the left and right sides, and the GPS will cause one side to gently vibrate to tell you which way to turn. If you use them once a week, the company behind them thinks that they'll last you 4 years before the battery runs out, which is far more than we can say we get from our phones anyway. Cooking candles. Some of us love the smell of cooking. Coming home to the smell of freshly baked bread or roast chicken or some chocolate brownies. Is there anything better? But cooking doesn't always smell great. Perhaps you've got a date tonight and you're cooking up something amazing which also happens to have a lot of garlic included. Or maybe cabbage or strong scented alcohol. Those smells aren't so great, especially if you got company. Even worse, what if you burn the food and have to hide the evidence? But there's an answer, and you'll probably wonder why no one has ever thought of these before. Cooking candles. You can easily kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Lighting the candles is the excellent mood lighting you'll want over dinner, and the cooking candles also mask the smell of your food. Sometimes used by chefs, they're filled with oils that'll mask the smell of almost everything you've baked. The best part about these candles is that they're actually odorless, meaning there's no chance you'll buy them and hate the smell of them even more. We all know how fussy some people can be. Simply burn them for around an hour and your kitchen will smell like you've only just got it installed all over again. Portable lock. Locking the door behind us is an integral part of our day. We won't feel secure if we've left the house with the key on the latch, especially if we know there's no one looking after our belongings at home. But what's even worse is if you've gone on holiday and you're staying somewhere that doesn't have a lock on the door. Usually we'd say prep these things in advance. To double check your home for the night comes with all the security we'd expect, but sometimes this just can't be done. So what do you do if you find your room for the night doesn't have a lock on the door? Do you set hourly alarms to check everything is still where you left it? Nope, because there's a better way, and you can carry it in your purse at all times. Now you can buy such a thing as portable locks. It attaches onto your door and it will keep it shut for as long as necessary. The portable lock can be added onto most standard doors and means you'll be able to sleep easy knowing everything is safe and has been left alone. We wouldn't recommend it for long-term solutions, but it's great for those emergencies. Pop-out socket. Having small kids running around the house makes everything 10 times as difficult as it was before they turned up. Of course, they're great company and also very sweet, but they require a level of assistance that we didn't truly anticipate. From climbing onto chairs, attempting to drink the bathroom cleaner, and sticking their fingers into plug sockets, we just can't leave them alone for a minute. While we can't help you with the climbing or drinking, we can certainly show you how an easy tool can make sure your little cousins don't accidentally electrocute themselves at your home. You could fill up your plug sockets by sticking things into them, but they could easily be pulled out. Instead, buy some pop-out sockets. These handy tools slip right into the plug and make it appear almost flat. Then, when you need to plug something in, you can press down gently on the sockets and they'll pop out, letting you easily charge all of your electrical items. Their manner of sticking firmly to the wall means even the strongest kid won't be able to pull it out without a lot of hassle. For the other problems, you'll just have to keep the bleach out of hand and tuck all of your chairs away. Cycle lane projector. Cycling home might seem like a great way to save some much needed dollars. Getting the subway or catching a cab might seem faster, but you're wasting money and also harming the environment. Plus, with traffic and delays, it could end up taking you even longer. But one thing that might put you off cycling, especially when it's dark, is the lack of space. It's too easy for overconfident drivers to push out of their lane and shove right into your corner of the road, and it's simply an accident waiting to happen. Of course, if there's a separate cycle lane, then you're golden, but a lot of time you have to aggressively mark your space one way or another. But there's actually a great product on the market that will make your cycling far simpler than before. The Bike Lane Laser Projector has 5 LED lights that mark your space on either side of your bike, along with illuminating your journey at the front and back. Sure, it'll work more effectively at nighttime, but you can still use the lights during the day for ultimate polite methods of getting those nosy car drivers to stay in their own lane. Doorbell camera. We'd all love to install fully functional CCTV cameras around our property, but it's just not doable a lot of the time. Maybe you live in a block of apartments where you'd be inflicting on a lot of people's privacy by installing cameras, or maybe you simply can't afford it. We all know these sorts of things are very expensive, but one trick you can do is install a mini camera on the front of your property in the doorbell. You might not be able to get 360-degree vision from who's approaching and from which angle, but it's the next best thing. The doorbell camera has a tiny screen which is almost impossible to see. You sure wouldn't know it was there unless you were looking for it, but even better, it links up to your smartphone, so even if you're at the other end of the property, you won't have to rush all the way back in to see who's knocking on your door. The fact it links to your smartphone makes it a great tool if you have kids or small children around, because then you can see who's outside and let the child know whether it's safe to open the door or not. The best part? Because it's only on your property and not covering anyone else's land, you're fine to install it without worrying too much. Hunter 1.0 Gaming Controller. Most of the time, gaming consoles only come in one size. This is fine as long as you've got normal sized hands and they're not ever so slightly too big or too small to properly control the buttons. If you're someone who does have awkwardly shaped hands, then you probably know the frustration of trying to tackle your favorite video game without accidentally pulling the wrong switch. But instead of spending hours accidentally pressing the off button, you should buy the Hunter 1.0 Gaming Keyboard. It sits on a flat surface and cleverly puts all of the important buttons on one easy to reach part of the board. The joystick means you only have to wiggle your thumb gently to move from A to B on screen, and the distance between the keys means no matter how big or small your hands, you'll easily be able to get to the final level. Better yet, it has a tactile anti-slip surface so you can get as enthusiastic as you like without worrying about losing grip. You can connect it to your USB, and it also has vibration feedback to let you know exactly how much force you're putting on your opponents. Sat Nav Projector. Driving a route we don't know very well is just added stress that we don't want or need. It makes the journey home become something we dread rather than an interesting way of getting from A to B. Sure, we could take a plane or public transport, but at least by driving we can enjoy the scenery at the same time. Except for the driver, of course. But instead of panicking by looking down at your sat-nav screen every few seconds and then quickly back up at the road, make life easy and install a sat-nav projector. You might think this is expensive, and if you've already just purchased a sat-nav, you might be against spending any more money, which is why we're delighted to tell you that this next item is free. It's an iPhone app which can easily be downloaded from the App Store and reflects upwards from your mobile onto the screen in front of you. You can position it whichever way you like so as to not distort your view, and you can turn it off and back on again with the click of a button. No longer will you have to swiftly turn your head back and forth in order to complete your drive. Hands-free umbrella. The stress of hurrying along, trying to do up a jacket, or type out a text and hold an umbrella at the same time is too much. It's bad enough if it's pouring with rain, let alone if the heavens are opening and we're stuck outside. Holding an umbrella makes everything slightly more difficult because we're left with only one hand to carry out our daily activities. Ever tried buttoning up a jacket or doing up a zip with only one hand? What about carrying a coffee and having a phone call? What we're saying here is it's not easy. But what if there was an answer to our prayers in the form of an umbrella that doesn't require a hand to hold it? Maybe getting someone to walk behind us holding it over our heads might be a bit out of reach for the time being, but there's an umbrella out on the market that attaches itself to your shoulder, giving you access to both your hands again. If that's not true productivity, we don't know what is. We know there's already hands-free umbrellas on the market that simply slot over your poncho, but let's be real here, because we want to keep our street cred too, somehow. Bed fan. Waking up too hot in the middle of the night is something no one enjoys, but whether it's the result of some boiling weather or just simply that you put too many layers on before getting into bed, you'll end up laying there wishing for some cooling relief. Sadly, we really can't win here because putting on the air conditioning just before going to bed means we'll wake up freezing, and we don't want that either. How can we win? Are we destined to be stuck in a horrible switch-up of changing from boiling to freezing every night? Nope, we're not, because there's an answer: the bed fan. And what makes the bed fan so different from any other fan, you ask? Well, the bed fan tucks itself under the side of your bed, making it perfect for those with not much space. Better yet, it has a variety of different settings so you can get the perfect level between hot and cold. The bed fan has a remote that can be tucked under your pillow, and the flow of air means even if you're sleeping in a double bed, it'll only be you whose temperature is regulated by the fan. We hope you enjoyed learning about these cool products today, and we know for sure your life will be much easier as a result now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.